Amplified. Amplified! It's Tuesday night.
Hey!
Thank you for tuning in tonight. I'm so glad.
So glad.
The most glad that you're here tonight, right now, live. How's everyone doing during quarantine?
What else have you guys been doing during quarantine?
I'm in the process of watching a bunch of shows right now.
I've gone to the beach, I've gone on lots of walks.
I think I've watched Parks and Rec, The Office, Gossip Girl, All American,
So we went through 2 water slides.
Avatar: The Last Airbender. Oh, Avatar's so good.
We built a pool in our backyard.
Outer Banks, so good. Survivor.
I've been trying to get Tag to do a TikTok with me. He hasn't gone for it yet.
All the Avengers movies, all the Star Wars movies, and all of the Lord of the Rings movies. Okay, well, do you guys want to say your shows? Or
We love you guys. We hope you're hanging in there during this quarantine. Who knows when it's gonna end? That is completely out of our control. But we're enjoying every single day we have. We hope that you are too.
Hey, so instead of just sitting in your room every day, there are some ways for you to get involved, to go outside and help someone else instead of just being cooped up and binge watching every single day. So here is how you can get involved.
Are you listening, Molly? No more binge watching.
I'm convicted.
So tomorrow, you can get involved by bringing some kind of food that is made, like a casserole or something else that you would like to give to a family that does not have a lot of food.
You can also handwrite a card. Write a note to a family. Our church will deliver it to them, and it's gonna be from you.
So I really need to stop binge watching. So you guys probably do too. It's a great opportunity to just get involved in our community.
For more information about this, look in the comments below. There is a link that gives information what Journey of Faith is doing.
We're about to hear from one of our seniors.
It's really exciting just to hear their experience with Amplified and their experience in high school and just give us some wisdom. Check it out.
All right, what's up, Amplified? It's Nick here, and I'm here with none other than.
I didn't know that was my cue. Hi guys, I'm Ryan. I'm from El Segundo. I'm a senior.
Yeah, he is. Go Gundo, go Eagles. Shout out. All right, Ryan, I got a few questions for you, and thanks so much for being willing to be interviewed. We love the class of 2020, and we're so stoked to hear from you guys. So Ryan, first question: when did you first start coming to Amplified?
I started coming to Amplified, I think it was freshman year, and I distinctly remember it because I remember seeing you there. You were the first person I saw,
Hey.
and I saw you, and I was like, oh shoot, that guy must be really cool. Like, he's the cool guy. He's the popular guy. No, but then I also remember Michelle came up to us, and like that really helped me feel welcomed and, involved more, I guess, rather than just like, what's going on?
Yeah. That's awesome. I definitely remember seeing you for the first time, and your voice is like 30 octaves higher than it is now. And just like, hey, I'm Ryan Weiner. I'm like, oh, this guy's awesome. All right. Do you remember what was one of the most like memorable or like defining moments of your time at Amplified?
I think the most defining moment in my time with Amplified was being baptized at Hume after my first year being there. Like I grew up raised in the Catholic Church, and I never really made that full like first decision myself that I wanted, I wanted a relationship with God, and I wanted to dive deeper. I wanted to grow. I wanted to experience, what this community is all about, just getting to know and live for Jesus. And that declaration of just being baptized really opened my eyes that it's so much more than just like, oh, follow God. It's really just about being together and learning together and loving together. Like, it's so much more than just following God. It's about being in community and being together, and just seeing all the support when I was being baptized. It really just changed that whole perspective for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. So thinking back of your time in high school, or just like specifically with Amplified, if you could do it all over again, what would you do differently?
I think what I would do differently is probably just know that it's okay to not be able to handle all of your problems, because that's an issue that I really fell into like in the middle of my high school journey. And I really just fell into this mindset of like, oh, I'm going through this struggle. I'm going through this trial in my life, but I'm not going to go to anyone about it. This is something I need to figure out, something I need to just get over with. But, that really didn't help anything for me, outside of my faith and inside my faith as well. I felt like more distant, more separated from God, more separated from my community at Journey. And, like I would really encourage like my younger self to look for the community that you surround yourself with and know that they're there for a reason. And more importantly, that God is with us and he shares this communication, this relationship with us for a reason. And because that was something I was really blind to, and I didn't notice that or realize that. And I was kind of just stuck in this mindset of like, okay, God, you can take this, but I'm just going to hold on to this and figure it out myself. But I think it's really important for us to understand that when we have a relationship with God and share that love with Jesus, that he wants all of our heart and he wants all of us. He wants us to give in 100%. And like, when you give 100% to him, he's going to give 100% right back to you. Mm-hmm. So that really, really helped me, grow and get closer.
I had this expectation that there will be some wisdom bombs dropped. It was just like atomic bomb of wisdom, just right. Just like, dude, you are so wise beyond your years. It's insane. All right, so looking back at high school, what's something that you're really thankful for?
I'm really thankful for the small groups I was involved in. All the leaders have shaped me and built me into the person I am today. And I really believe that I wouldn't be the person I am without you guys. And, the guys in my small group, shout out to them. It's like, again, unimaginable where I would even be without having that community and just having that bond where I can be open and honest about anything. I can just be like, hey, I'm struggling with this. Like, do you have any advice? Can you keep me accountable? And that's made all the difference for me.
Yeah, for sure. So it's all about, we love our small group leaders, and like hands down, our leaders are the best around. So we love that. Ryan, do you have any like last minute like shout outs, anything else you want to say, or
just shout out to like everyone at Journey, honestly, because like you guys have welcomed me from the start. You've made me feel so loved and appreciated. Like, shout out to you, Nick. Thank you for having me. It's an honor. And like, I'm so glad I got to meet you. You've really shaped like and changed my outlook on life. I aspire to be you. Like, I look up to you so much, and you honestly mean the world to me, dude.
Dude, you earned your $100 I'm paying for you. I appreciate that, dude. And you likewise, like, you just shaped Journey so much, and Amplified is so much better having you in it. So yeah, we're so thankful for you, and know that you graduating does not mean you're not part of the Amplified family. So yeah, we just love you so much. And so thanks for watching, everyone. We're gonna head into the message portion, but Ryan, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
The man. All right.
Some of the people who have made the biggest impact on my life were younger than me. Now, why do I say that? See, we're in a series called If I Knew Then. And we're kind of looking about, with the knowledge that I have now, what do I wish I would have known earlier? So we've been asking like our seniors, our 8th graders with this question, like, if you could go back, if you could tell your 6th grade, your freshman, sophomore self, what advice would you give? And so we're even tackling that question. If I knew then, what advice would I give to myself, to you guys, with the knowledge that we have now? And if I'm being honest, I was thinking really hard about this question, and I wanted to make my answer really good. But I was thinking about this question, wondering what would I have told myself then? What do I wish I would have known earlier? I wish I would have known sooner not to disqualify myself from being used by God. Now, what do I mean by that? How have you disqualified yourself before? See, we all have the ability to make an impact in other people's lives and an impact for God, but we tend to disqualify ourselves for certain reasons. How have you disqualified yourself today? Maybe it's you don't think you know enough. I don't know enough of the Bible to truly make an impact for God. Or maybe it's the experience that you don't have. I just started coming to church, or I don't know what to do. See, one of the most common things that I hear, and one of the most common disqualifications that I hear that students make is, I'm too young. You think you're too young, or you lack a certain amount of experience or time that truly makes you available to be used by God. I've said it before, and I even say it now. See, we disqualify ourselves because of our age. My advice for you today, and something that I wish I would have known way sooner, is not to disqualify yourself from being used by God, especially because of your age. Because if we look at the Bible, God tends to use young people in incredible ways. Here's what Paul, one of the earliest church leaders, one of the most important church leaders in all of church history, wrote the majority of the New Testament. Here's what advice he gave to Timothy, who is this really young pastor in charge of this mega church. Here's the advice that he gave to this young person. In 1 Timothy 4:12, it says, "Don't let anyone think less of you because you are young. Be an example to all believers in what you say, in the way you live, in your love, your faith, and your purity." He's saying, don't let your age be a disqualifier for you to make a true impact for God. God's going to be the one to qualify you. So don't let anyone look down on you because of your age, but set an example. In fact, if you look at Jesus' life, Jesus came down with a mission, and he assembled a team of disciples around him in order to accomplish that mission. And if we think about just the monumental task that the disciples were about to embark on, I think, or it makes sense to believe that Jesus would have gotten the best people on his team, the people with the most experience, the most schooling, the most knowledge, and the most experience and age that he could. But in fact, it's the exact opposite. See, he chose young people. He chose young people who are going to flip the world upside down. And we are standing here today, even 2,000 years later, as a result of the faith of young people. Most people think that the disciples were teenagers. The disciples were your age. And Jesus came down with a mission. And he's like, who am I going to assemble on my team to accomplish that mission? Teenagers. See, teenagers, those who might have disqualified themselves, might have said, no, I don't have enough knowledge, I don't have enough experience, I'm not old enough to be used by God. Those who might have disqualified themselves, that's who Jesus said, you're on my team. And we are standing here today after the world's been completely flipped upside down as a result of young people, as a result of teenagers. See, they recognize that they could be used by God, and it is God who qualifies them. They didn't disqualify themselves. See, man, I wish somebody would have sat me down sooner and told me that age isn't a qualification, that experience, that knowledge is not a qualification, and not to disqualify myself from truly being used by God and impacting those around me. So today, I want to ask this question: how have you disqualified yourself? And I want to redefine the qualifier. See, I want to look at and to put an end to the voices and doubts inside our head that tells us we can't be used by God. We can't make an impact. And here's why. See, I love this passage in 1 Corinthians 13. Paul, he redefines what qualifies you from truly being used by God and puts an end to those doubts in our heads. So in 1 Corinthians 13, chapters 1 through 3, It says, if I could speak all the languages of earth and of angels, but didn't love others, I would only be a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. If I had the gift of prophecy, and if I understood all of God's secret plans and possessed all knowledge, and if I had such faith that can move mountains, but didn't love others, I would be nothing. If I gave everything I have to the poor and even sacrificed my body, I could boast about it. But if I didn't love others, I would have gained nothing. See, Paul in this passage, he's redefining what qualifies you from being used by God. And I love that language. He's saying, like, I can have all these things. I can have all this knowledge. I can have all the knowledge in this world. And I can even have a faith that can move mountains. But if I didn't love others, all of that is nothing. See, he's redefining what actually qualifies you from being used by God. And that's how well you love others. And I wish somebody would have just simply sat me down and told me that it's not age that qualifies you. It's not your knowledge. It's not your experience. It's how well you love others. And I wish somebody would have sat me down and told me, you can make an impact right now by how well you love others. See, don't let anyone, even yourself, disqualify you from truly being used by God. I hear it all the time. I'm not old enough. I don't know enough. I don't have enough experience. Whatever it is, whatever voice inside your head, whatever way that you are trying to disqualify yourself, I want to redefine what qualifies you. And it's God who qualifies you. See, don't let anyone look down on you. Don't let anyone say that you can't make an impact. You can. So I'm asking you, not only what or how have you been disqualifying yourself, but what have you been disqualifying yourself from? See, all of you have so many passions and just these ways that you feel like you can make an impact, but you have disqualified yourself in the past saying, I don't know enough. I'm not a great speaker. I don't know enough people. I don't have enough, I'm not old enough. How have you disqualified yourself? How have you disqualified yourself? And what have you disqualified yourself from? See, maybe it's starting a Christian club or reaching out to that person that you don't know, or reaching out to your group of friends, but you're scared of rejection, whatever it is, this fear. You've disqualified yourself because you don't think that you're equipped. See, if we know anything from this passage, Paul is not only saying, don't let anyone look down on you because you're young, but set an example. And he says, here's what qualifies you. It's not how much you know. It's not how well you speak. It's how well you love others. And man, how different of a life I would have lived if somebody would have sat me down and spelled that out for me. If somebody would have told me, Nick, you don't have to be this age to make an impact. You don't have to have this degree to make an impact. You don't have to have all this experience or knowledge. All you have to do is love others. I'm going to be the one to qualify you. See, how have you disqualified yourself in the past? And what have you disqualified yourself from? Maybe today's the day to really make that step. Just take that next step and say, God, would you help me? God, silence all those voices that might disqualify myself, and would you qualify me and give me the passions and desires to truly make an impact in those around me? Because you can right now. See, I told you before, some of the people that have made the biggest impact in my life are those that have been younger than me. See, they might have disqualified themselves, but God has used them to make an impact in powerful ways, and He can do the same in your life. I've seen it time and time again. So Ignite Amplified, I'm going to pray, and then we're going to head on to the rest of our night. God, thank you so much for, God, just the ability to meet together, God, in all this, the chaos of this world. And God, I pray that we never close. God, we continue to be a community of Ignite and Amplified here at Journey of Faith, and we continue to meet, even though it might not be physically. God, you continue to knit us together and continue being a community here in the South Bay. So God, we just love you and we thank you for that. God, I just pray for realness tonight as we head into small groups. God, we just thank you for just your presence as always, God. And so, God, would you just put a desire in our hearts to truly make an impact to those around us? God, would you just silence all these voices of doubt that might disqualify us from being used by you? So, God, we just love you so much. In your name we pray. Amen.
Hey guys, we're gonna go into worship right now. I'm actually here with Joyful. There she is. We're social distance, we are safe, I promise. But we just wanted to worship with you guys together. We're gonna sing a song right now called Move. If you don't know it, look up the lyrics, read through them. They're so powerful just about how God moves in our lives. So as we sing through this, pray, read the lyrics.
Runs for cover when you move. No one's turned away. 'Cause where you are, fear turns into praises. And where you are, no hearts left unchanged. So come, move, let justice roll on like a river. Let worship turn into revival. Oh, lead us back to you. When you move, the outcast finds a family. When you move, the orphan finds a home. Lord, here we are. Oh, teach us to love mercy. With humble hearts, we bow down at your throne. So come, move, let justice roll on like a river. Let worship turn into revival. Lord, lead us back to you. King of all generations, let every tongue and nation surrender all to you alone. King of all generations, let every tongue and nation surrender all to you alone. So come, move, let justice roll on like a river. Let worship turn into revival. Lord, lead us back to you.
This song has really powerful lyrics. It's just asking God to move within us. And I think in this time that we're in right now, there's a line that says, let worship turn into revival. Lord, lead us back to you. And it's the idea that we don't have to be in a building to worship. And I know that we've said that before, but worshiping like this is still worship as long as you take it as worship. And so I want to challenge you guys as we sing this last chorus to just pray for God to move in your life.
So come, move, let justice roll on like a river. Let worship turn into revival. Lord, lead us back to you.
Thank you so much for worshiping with us. You guys are the best.
Guys, thank you so much for worshiping with us. We love Tuesday nights and we hope that you love them as well.
I'm so glad you guys are watching. Subscribe so that you never miss our program.
This is not the best part of the night. The best part of the night is what comes on right now. So join the Zoom after party.
It's a great way to find friends and get connected.
These are just times with our small group. My girls, if you're watching, go to the Zoom after party.
See you soon.
You did so well.
See you soon.
We love you guys. Yeah, have a great week. Zoom, 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 zoom.